You don't find people on those type of platforms that are. I mean, it costs you money. It's not these are not free platforms. Being on the 96-foot billboard in Times Square, New York, these things all cost money. You have a hard time finding scammers, finding fakes.
Yeah.
When there's that level of commitment to get featured. That's been a big thing there. I mean, but this guy had been, I'd read his book since I was just getting started 20 plus years ago. And he had started experimenting microdosing psilocybin, LSD, making you look like an idiot. Like, this is not good for either of us. So I'm gonna go ahead and refund 100% of your money here. And, good luck in life. But
to the CVMK show, where it goes down because it is what it is. I'm the best host on the planet, the one, the only, the bald head man himself, Mr. CVMK 33, coming at you with another one. We have an amazing episode because we got somebody amazing on here. It's amazing because you're watching, it's amazing because I'm hosting, but it's amazing because who we have on here today, Mr. Curtis McCoy himself, founder of Newswire magazine. Look, we're going to get into his story. We're going to get into his life. We're going to see how did he do this thing, because this is not easy. Entrepreneurship, leadership, business is not magic. It is not you flip a coin, you say abracadabra, and it happens. There's some things that we need to discuss, and it's going to go down here. But this is possible because of the fans, because of people like you who support this channel. You guys have been amazing. Thank you for connecting with us. Thank you for building the YouTube audience to what it is, the social media audience to what it is. None of this is possible without you. But if you want to keep seeing leaders like we have on today, I need you to do a couple things. First, I need you to share, like, subscribe. Go to YouTube, one word, 4 letters, CVMK. It's really simple. If you can't spell that, well, so 1 word, 4 letters, CVMK. Like the button. The great thing about subscribing is it's free. It costs you nothing. But don't just like and subscribe and don't watch. Comment, share, engage with us on social media, y'all. Let us know who you want to see, what you think of the episode. Go to @itiswhatitis_show. Go to CVMK_global. Go to the supplement website and say, hey, look, I like this. I see the proteins. I see everything. I see you trying to build the new Nike. I like what you're doing. How do I get involved? Can I get a sample? I don't care. Just let me know. Reach out to me, DM me. But it goes down there. And then where the best supplements are at www.cvmkglobal.store. When we return from this quick break, we're going to bring on Curtis McCoy. He's going to share with us his story. I'm super excited about this episode. I'm super excited about y'all connect with him after a quick word. Awesome. Curtis, man, how you doing today?
Good, man. It's good to see you, Cody. How you doing?
I'm well, man. I know you shared with me earlier before we began. This is 6th episode of the day. So when y'all see this man has already been rocking and rolling. This is my 2nd, but we are here bringing it live to you. Curtis, this is a pleasure to have you on. First of all, thank you so much for reaching out, man. I really appreciate that. I saw, I read the profile, and, I try to do some vetting, I try not to get always into the weeds because you can get analysis paralysis, but I liked it. I liked you wrote and you said, and I was like, man, this is somebody we need to have on. This is somebody's story that I think is going to inspire, entertain, and is going to share some nuggets with us. Because I think, in this day and age, with groceries being as high as they are, we need some nuggets. How do we do this thing? So for them that do not know you, Curtis, tell us a little bit about yourself, my man.
Man, I like that. Hey, by the way, I just subscribed to your YouTube channel earlier this afternoon. Got connected, followed you on Instagram, both the CVMK podcast as well as your personal Instagram there. And looking forward to seeing some more good stuff from you. But I got started in personal branding. We talked about, in the past, I owned a cosmetic medical laser clinic, a pharmaceutical company manufacturing bioidentical injectable research peptides, had a supplement company, all that kind of stuff. But as you probably know, the DEA has got, those scheduled products that you're selling without a problem. and then all of a sudden they become a felony to possess. So we had did those kind of businesses for quite a few years, where you never knew what morning you're going to show up and something's going to be scheduled. You got a fax on. I mean, this is back in the fax machine days, but you show up and got a fax saying it's a felony to possess your entire business. So luckily I've been out of the pharmaceutical stuff for quite a while, but I launched all these different companies. Like I said, that had a Christian clothing company, built a telecommunications company with over 250,000 customers a month hitting the website at the peak. But what I've seen is a lot of businesses. You're a pretty young guy, right?
Yeah, 35.
You're looking young, yeah. I don't know if it's you're young or that it's just the good supplements you got there with the CVMK.
The supplements, man, that's what's keeping me youthful.
Find out you're 76 years old. I need to order some stuff, huh? But yeah, so over the years, I had launching these companies, would build up a massive business. We had multiple 7-figure companies, and then something changed with Best Cellular, our telecom company. The Sprint T-Mobile merger happened, and they put out hundreds of mom and pop shops as well as mobile virtual network operators. But I saw over the years people that were building up, they build a corporate brand, build up a real successful business, and then whether it was a DEA scheduled some kind of a product or something changes in the industry, maybe you just decide to sell the business, you want to go a different direction. But these guys that have not built a personal brand, most business leaders aren't. They're building a phenomenal business and nobody knows who the owner is. And then when it comes time to change something and you go to start again, nobody knows who you are. So you're starting from scratch every single time. And so I had a little story about that. I actually walked in, I owned and was running 3 of my own retail stores, and we had licensees all over the United States. And I came out one day and I had one of my customers, one of my best friends, come in, and he said that he had gone into this store in Grand Junction, another competitive retailer, and said they were talking about that the owner of Best Cellular was a racist and wouldn't let Mexicans in his store and all these crazy. I'm like, and the guy that's telling me is a Mexican guy. We were doing barbecues and stuff together. We'd hang out all the weekends, and he's like, hey, just so you know, they're trash talking you. So I took a drive up to Grand Junction, had some cards in my pocket and went in shopping at this other phone store. And so they're talking about, oh yeah, this guy, the owner's is a racist and he won't let Mexicans in his store and all these things. And I'm like, man, that's terrible. That guy sounds like a real dirtbag, talking about myself. Mm-hmm. And so they keep trashing me. So I finally said, well, hey, listen, if you guys ever need anything cellular related, you're not looking at using your own stuff. I put my card on the table. It says president of Best Cellular. And the manager started kind of stuttering. And I'm like, listen, I understand business is business.
Yeah.
You're trying to promote your store, however, not the way that I do business, but that was a big eye opener. That's like 2015, 2016, I think.
Yeah.
And that was a huge eye opener that goes, where I'm going, we got 250,000 customers a month hitting our website. I walked into a local retail store and nobody recognized me. Nobody had any clue that I was the owner of the company that they're trash talking. But I'm going, okay, if nobody knew me then, I had to start working on something because the local folks didn't have any clue who I was. So, at this point now, I've been just helping entrepreneurs who are authors, entrepreneurs, motivational speakers, podcast hosts, business owners, guys that are crushing it in life and business, and helping them to start building that personal brand so that if they make a transition or sell their business, whatever, so they can start the next thing and have an easier launch than starting from the ground up again.
I love it. There's a few things I want to just kind of dig out of that story. First of all, there's regulation is needed, but too much regulation kills the creative spirit and it kills business as a whole, right? Like, and totally, we want everything to be as safe as possible. Obviously, there's always some new information, but the problem with new information is that new information is not vetted information. So something can flag on a report for this specific time and this specific trial, and then the data change within a month. You change one factor and then the data skews are off. So, when the federal government overregulates, it puts the business owner really in a jam because it's like, look, hey, look, we're the ones hiring. We're the ones doing this. You're making it, hard for us to help the economy. So that's one tidbit. The other thing is that too, and I want to get into this, and this is my question. How did you deal with the personal attacks without becoming offended by it? Because sometimes you ever look at your business model and you're looking at the analytics and you're saying, okay, there's alignment here, I see this, but I can't understand for the life of me why this is not growing, like this specific thing. And then you find out some trash like that, like, who's spreading misinformation about my brand and myself? How did you deal with it? Why is
every customer that walks in my door white, and why have all of my Hispanic, any of the Latino, why have all of my customers left me that are of a certain ethnic background?
How did you deal with that?
Like I said, at that time I was, I come from bodybuilding. I was boxing. You probably can't see my knuckles on the fight there. I mean on the camera there, but I've over the years have calmed down a whole lot. But at that time I was going, okay, I'm running a 7-figure company, 250,000 customers a month hitting the site, 7-figure a month business. Probably should not be dragging this manager over the counter by his necktie and knocking some teeth out. But I had got as you're growing, if you're building a successful company, especially with your personal brand, people are going to drag your name through the mud. If you don't have somebody upset with you, somebody that's a competitor jealous and dragging you through the mud, you probably have not done enough to deserve that recognition, even the negative recognition, whether it's true or not. I mean, you're growing a business, you're going to have haters. You're going to have people that are competing with you and they're talking bad about you, maybe even to your face if you built a big enough corporate brand without working on a personal one yet. But I mean, that happens. You either give up and get yourself a 9-to-5 and enjoy life and just relax, or you go out there and do some stuff that's difficult. I tell, we got a 7-year-old kid. My girlfriend has got a 7-year-old little boy that I would like to, I hope to make him my stepson soon. But I tell him all the time, he, like as we're out, he's doing tough stuff, we're doing push-ups and running and bank catch and, crash and hurt himself, whatever. And he knows now, you say, hey, we got to go, we're going to run, it's a mile to his school. All right, we're heading to school this morning. Got to run. He's like, Curtis, I'm tired. I said, but what do guys do? He said, well, Curtis, guys do tough stuff. Guys do tough things. I'm like, yeah. I mean, I'm talking to a 7-year-old kid where he's wanting to grow up to be a man. He goes, men do tough things. But also as a business owner, you got to do tough stuff or give up, go get yourself a job, just live the easy life. You got to cap on your income, but you're not going to have the stress or the heartaches and hassle that you have with a lot of business stuff.
That's true. No, you got to do tough things. So you hit it on the head, and I know we got to cut to a break soon, but you build this thing up, and then it seems like life is filled with pivots. And one moment you're soaring, and you got the tailwind behind you, and it's just, oh, this is amazing. And then there's this pivot, this unexpected pivot, and it's like, yo, I didn't see this coming. What are you doing? What are you doing to me? And this kind of launched really into how Newswire magazine came about happens. I want to get into that story. I know we got to jump to a quick break from our sponsors so we can pay some bills. But after this, y'all, Curtis, I want to hit you with how do you deal with the pivots in life after we return?
There's a hero in all of us waiting to be unleashed. All it takes is just that one last push. Activate the hero within with CVMK Global Supplements. All natural, steroid-free, designed to enhance performance, build muscle, and increase energy. You are unstoppable. You can do this. Become your own hero at www.cvmkglobal.store.
We just dropped B-Whey, the vanilla whey protein. You can see it right here on the camera. If you like the vanilla ice cream flavor, 25 grams of protein, 110 calories, digestive enzymes. This is the real deal. I'm not even a vanilla guy, okay? My wife forced me to create this product because she loves vanilla, and fell in love with the product because you can mix vanilla with anything. Honestly, you can. It's amazing, y'all. Get it today. www.cvmkglobal.store. Use code CVMK at the discount for 20% off. All right, so the pivot that life brings, right? You're doing this. You've hit these high volume sales, high volume customer retention, and then you realize, like, man, now I need to pivot, and I built a brand, but I didn't build myself. And because a lot of times, like, as founders of companies, we're always thinking of the company first. We're the last ones that receive any benefit. We're gonna pay everybody before we pay ourselves. We're gonna go broke or die trying to get this thing to fly, before we receive any real benefit from it. If we have investors, the investors are gonna take their share. So it's like it's not a us, it's not a me thing. It's a it thing, and then it somehow feeds back into yourself. And then to say, man, I did all this and I'm starting over and nobody knows who I am. How did you deal with that pivot, man, when you had to start over after you've already been to the mountaintop?
I mean, like I said, that's happened half a dozen times. Pharmaceutical company, telecommunications company, we had a cosmetic medical laser company, Christian clothing company, nutritional supplement company. We were manufacturing and distributing the human chorionic gonadotropin drops, the HCG drops that were huge, like back 2008, 2010 for weight loss.
I remember that. Yeah.
So we were manufacturing injectable peptides that, we had all kinds of pro athletes and stuff using. But like I said, had failed enough times like that, where not failing, but changing industries or buying something else out or selling a company, whatever. But as that happened, so we had, like I said, I was running three of my retail stores, and one of my employees, just brain surgeon, sharp kid, that he was a kid that you could talk to about, hey, could we maybe build this app for something? He could tell you off the top of his head. He could see the code and start telling you what type of code to use, whatever, telling you the code snippet that needs built, and just start spitting stuff out. But this kid told me in 2018, we had had a real good year and had a massive tax liability coming up, where you either got to spend the money or you pay it in taxes. So you pay the man or you spend it. So Sam was telling me, hey, Best Cellular, see this is, it's got Newswire's available. The company launched in 1997. It's got all this traffic, got all this, the search engine ranking, all this stuff. And he goes, I think you need to buy this company. I'm like, Sam, I'm working 80 to 100 plus hours a week every day. I've been doing this for 10 years. I don't need to buy another company. I'm drowning here. Got no friends, got no family, got nothing besides business that I'm doing here. He's like, I think this is a really good investment. You talked about you need to spend some money before you pay taxes. Okay, you're right. Now, Sam, this is now your baby, so had him at working with one of my developers. We had let the developer hire 2 additional developers working under him, and just kind of rebuilt this thing from the ground up. But the main reason back then was not for the personal brand. It was just, okay, here's another company. Now we've spent some money, we don't have to pay in taxes. And as that started taking off, Sprint T-Mobile merger was happening there. COVID shutting down retail locations. So it ended up being a really great thing where I started building my brand, ended up speaking at Caesar's Palace, a lot of cool events there. Consulted with the United States Federal Trade Commission on that Sprint T-Mobile merger because of the personal brand. But now I talk to entrepreneurs. Like I said, you're the sixth interview of the day here, but telling people kind of the common theme is so many of these business owners are building a good business. Nobody knows who they are, but as we're talking, kind of a common question or common thing I say is nobody can do business with you if they don't know you. if they can't find you? You know, so if somebody's trying to hire you, say you want to get hired to speak, or your whatever your business is, if they can't find CVMK Global, if they can't find your website, you don't exist. I had a good quote I heard a while back that said, "Where is the best place to hide a dead body?" On page 2 of Google, because nobody ever goes there. Nobody ever looks on the second page of Google. So that's what now we're helping get people on there, where, interviewing people on Amazon Fire TV. So actually, you might be a good guy to put on there with, like I said, authors, entrepreneurs, motivational speakers, podcast hosts, people who own companies, whether it's tech or retail. So Amazon Fire TV, put you on the cover of Newswire magazine, do these interviews where we're highlighting your stuff, featuring you to our audience there. And then we do search engine optimization, driving traffic from those links in the, these verified platforms to your sites. So, been a good thing to help people start getting recognized. And you can't lead a horse to water, but anybody who's not absolutely terrified of being on camera, answering some questions, and if you can't make eye contact with the clerk at the grocery store, I'd say work on yourself first and get to where you can finally do something. But yeah, I mean, you got to get out there, get your name built, make sure people use they can do business with you.
No, that's true. That's true. I would love to be on, man. I've done a TED talk. Let me know when. I will be at 4:00 in the morning if you need me to be on. So we talk about this shift. The amazing thing about technology is that we get to control the narrative, right? Like you bought a company, it was existing. Obviously, it needed a new wave of fire and energy and vision and leadership. And then you take it to the next level, where in times past, we kind of had gatekeepers, where it's like, man, if I don't, Todd Koppel, Dan Brokaw, if I don't go these routes, nobody's ever going to know who I am. And that was a harder thing. Now in entrepreneurship, we have the Curtis McCoys of the world, that, one interview can change everything. Right. So the great, do you find it hard? Do you find it difficult to find whatever niche you could, just think of, to find true authenticity? Because sometimes, and this is me, there are great, like I have great guests like yourself, right? And who I had on before. I mean, great individuals. And then I have individuals I won't name names. I've had individuals that it was literally like pulling teeth, and it just seemed so disingenuous. And it's like, do you hear yourself? Like, is this real? Yeah. But whatever, it's content, So what does authenticity look like for you?
Man, that's one of the things as you're building a business and you start charging more. For example, I mean, you don't find guys that are being interviewed on Amazon Fire TV or on the cover of a publication like Newswire, where 100,000 plus people are reading that article a month. Yeah, you don't find people on those type of platforms that are. I mean, it costs you money. These are not free platforms. Being on the 96-foot billboard in Times Square, New York, these things all cost money. You have a hard time finding scammers, finding fakes. Yeah, when there's that level of commitment to get featured. That's been a big thing there. I mean, we're turning down interviews. I did have one guy that was, I think he probably was legit years ago. He was a New York Times bestselling author, over 2 million copies of one of his books sold. He scheduled an interview with me last summer, and we're going through doing the interview. And the guy's talking about during our, everything is pre-recorded. We edit, have it all uploaded, syndicated to Amazon Fire TV in 4K. Mm-hmm. So there's a whole lot that goes through the editorial process. But this guy had been, I'd read his book since I was, just getting started 20 plus years ago. And he had started experimenting microdosing psilocybin, LSD. Trying to remember what all that. He's talking about on a leadership podcast. He's talking about being a leadership development expert. Sold 2 million copies of one of his leadership books, and starts talking about doing drugs on the podcast. And he says, the other day I'd taken a bunch of mushrooms and I was sitting under the kitchen table, and I realized that I am God. Said, say that again. So I was doing mushrooms and I realized that I am God and I'm connected and I am the universe and the universe is me and all this crazy junk. And I'm like, hey, listen, man. And so he had already paid. I mean, he's, thousands of dollars in, and this guy had already paid. I'm like, listen, this is what you're talking about. This is not your target audience. The people like me that have been following you for years and years. This is going to lose you clients. And the only reason I would publish this is if I was taking advantage of the situation, making you look like an idiot. Like, this is not good for either of us. So I'm going to go ahead and refund 100% of your money here. And, good luck in life. But
yeah.
But that's one of those things. That's the only one I can really think of where it was like the guy had got through. You didn't have to do any of the stuff where you typically kind of jumping through getting qualified. So I'm going, okay, this is a big dude. This is a big dog I've been following since I was little, and people change, but that's something where I could have taken advantage of that and shared, hey, look how weird this guy got. That's not my business. It's not my business trying to blast somebody. Just like I wouldn't say his name publicly. I'm not trying to put anybody down. So just refunded his money. Said, hey, good luck with life, and hope you find what you're looking for, buddy.
Oh, I know. Hey, I had one episode, and I tell all the time, anybody that reaches out, I'm like, okay, look, understand. I respect everybody. I love everybody, but I'm a believer. I love the Lord. I know I'm not perfect or whatnot, but I really try to, really present Christ in a different format and the message that is appealing to certain sectors without it feeling like church, right? And I was like, and I tell everybody, it doesn't matter who I, have on the show. Understand that's the arena you walk into, right? So I had one guy, and like I said, not gonna name names, and he was just totally, let's just say, the polar opposite of that. Man, I went through it. I never posted that episode. I'm gonna be 100% with you. He was like, he hit me back. It was like during COVID and everything. He's like, man, you ever gonna show that episode? I was like,
nope.
Yeah, probably not, man. It just wasn't a good alignment. I'm sorry. Your audience doesn't work with my audience.
Yeah.
But I think that's the integrity aspect. And I really think that's when leadership becomes defined, right? Like there are points in business and the story of it all that you realize, like, no, we're not compromising. This is our motto, this is our mission, this is our company value.
Yep.
If you don't like it, you don't have to be on the show, but I'm not changing the company values for you or anybody. For you, to have that, what is missing, and what I mean by this, like, I feel like there's a community of faith leaders, business leaders that need to be highlighted. Like, it's just the conversation isn't there. Like, how do you build this and still stay true to what you believe in?
Well, like, talking about that guy where I could, he'd already paid in advance. We've changed our entire structure of how the business works now, so that I interview people before we ever even offer whether they can be featured or not. So we'll go through the interview. If you're a complete nut job, like, cool, enjoyed the conversation, hope you have a great day. I said, well, I'd like to be featured. Sorry, not today, Maybe we revisit this in a year, but but back then we would have people would pay in advance, and then we'd go through to do the interviews, get everything edited, published later. But that's something there where if I've kept the guy's money and gone, hey, listen, I've already got a couple $1,000s on this interview here, I don't want to give the money back. If I would have not, even if I had no values and could care less about publishing something or making this guy look goofy, that's destroying our future traffic where, people have been reading this magazine, watching us on Amazon Fire TV, and now they go in, wow, that was really a waste of my time. I wish I wouldn't have read that. I wish I wouldn't have sat down and watched that dang interview. That was a waste of my time. That client or that audience, what percentage of the audience that watches that interview are ever going to come back again and think that that's for them, especially if that was the first interview that they'd seen. You go, maybe this isn't for me. So just being true to your ethics and your moral, following that moral compass, doing the right thing will pay off in the future. Where, I mean, now we have more than quadrupled the business since that guy, was showed up goofy on the interview.
That works. Look,
so stay true, whether it's, you don't have to be a good person to do the right thing. If you're thinking about your business, you go, man, this is going to mess up my business to take this short-sighted, quick payout here. So.
I love it. Not taking the quick payout. Look, when we get back, I know we got to cut to a break. I want to talk about the role of AI because, man, we had a good conversation. I had literally right before this, I interviewed DJ High Def. He's a growing famous DJ out on the East Coast. He was in doing a couple things with Netflix. I mean, really kind of blowing up. And I said, artificial intelligence is cool because it does a lot of the minor tasks for us that, you would have to have, 2 or 3 bodies to perform. But the unsavory effect is that, it has no soul. And it's hard now to really build authenticity because when I look at anything, I got to question, is this real? Is this AI? Is this, how do we do that? When we get back, we're going to talk about the role of AI. We're going to talk about what's in the future for Curtis after we return from our sponsor.
I literally just tried the best pre-workout on the planet. With Superpower pre-workout, you have increased focus and a power boost every single time you work out. It's not only packed with 225 milligrams of caffeine, but it also has citrulline and creatine. It's insane how much energy and focus I had during my workouts. If you're ready to take your workouts to the next level, then ditch your current pre-workout and get the Superpower pre-workout to be your own hero.
Oh, www.cvmkglobal.store where it goes down. I'm telling you, go there. You will not be disappointed. Why go to these other brands? I love The Rock too, but you can't tell me Zoa's better than us. I love him too. So Rock, don't sue me. I love you, but you're not better than the B-Way, the Superpower. Go to www.cvmkglobal.store where it goes down. All right, so AI, man. AI.
Hey, man, not to get distracted here, but I was looking through your website. I was checking out. You got that. You got all kinds of different products on there. That super thick creatine. What is that? Is that a flavored creatine or is it a?
It's unflavored. You can put it in anything. Yeah, it literally is unflavored. You can, if you taste it, it tastes like nothing.
It might be good added to a shake and get you a little extra creamy there, huh?
Yeah, I do. I stack it with my pre-workout, and then afterward, I add it to my post-workout shake. Look, I'm telling y'all missing out on the super thick creatine. www.cvmkglobal.store. So AI is cool and not so cool at the same time. What I mean by that, like AI makes this thing possible. I mean, when we do the edits, is looking at certain words, certain highlights, certain emotions, what it feels like it gained.
Automatic jump cuts.
Yeah, it does all that. There's a few tools I'm not going to recommend because they don't pay me, but there's a few tools out there that do some really great things for a really low cost. That's the beauty of AI. The other tidbit is, and I can compare even when I was manually doing all this, you lose. What AI can't do is it can't impersonate human feeling and the human soul and the humanity in the content. Like there's sometimes, and like I said, you interview people all the time. There's times within the interview where you can feel it shift for better or for worse. You can feel the connection to the interviewee. If you ever do one live and you have the audience engaging with you, you can feed off all that, and AI can't because it doesn't understand the human spirit because it's inorganic, right? For you, has AI been a help or a hurt to your business?
So I've been using AI since 2017, 2018, before it was commercially available or publicly available. We got into it years and years ago, maybe 2016. In 2017, probably, with Newswire magazine and Newswire, just cutting out a lot of the mundane tasks, like you said. But one of the things with AI, people worry about, okay, is AI going to take over? Is it going to take my jobs, whatever? You get from AI, you get out what you put into it. And so just like a kid that's playing sports, the guy that does the work, putting in, if you've done the prompt engineering to ask it the right set of questions, you say you've got like ChatGPT 4.0, whatever the new version is there, and you've create a custom GPT, not free, by the way, but have it study everything that's ever been said about you online, everything that's ever been published, every article you've written. And then pretty soon you can get it to actually write in your tone of voice, and it'll come up with stuff that you're like, man, that is exactly what I would have written if I was a lot smarter, but it's writing in your tone,
Yeah.
But AI that's not actually a true, it's kind of a mistaken, what do you say? It's not intelligent. It's not artificial intelligence. It's a kind of a false marketing right there. AI is the sum of all human knowledge that's publicly available right now. So when you ask a question, just like, if enough people have answered the question correctly, in a good light, AI's research and all that. But if you had ask it a question about a politician that you like or don't like, ask a question about Joe Biden, see what it says to you. You will know for a fact that it's not saying, you can look at the truth. Look, ask it about Donald Trump's shooting attempt or whatever. It's going to say stuff. It's taken media bias. Whoever's put out the most content, and it's trying to create something logical out of the sum of all human knowledge. And whoever 51% of the population, whatever they're saying, that's you basically get the sum of that information. So as far as AI right now, it's like you said, it's great to be able to cut out a lot of the mundane tasks. We do that a lot of times with even article drafts. So I'm not, going to publish an AI article because it sounds like a third world copywriter that doesn't really speak great English and throws some kind of weird stuff in there.
Yeah.
But you can take a good tip for your listeners right now. If you're posting on YouTube and you're trying to create a blog, or say you're trying to get traffic off of a podcast, a huge thing you could do is take this interview, create a page, your CVMK global or .store / if you got your podcast site / M.Curtis McCoy. Now you pull that YouTube, pull the YouTube video, copy the transcription. All the YouTube videos will have a transcribed version on it. Mm-hmm. Copy that, run that through ChatGPT, ask it to properly punctuate, spell, capitalize, single space after every period, just format that article. Take that, paste that into a separate GPT window, and ask that to summarize the article using H2 headers. So H2 with a summary under each one as an article outline. Then from that article outline, tell it to go online, research the person that you're interviewing, and then fill out that article, write an article about the person for your website. So now you've got, you take that YouTube video, post that online, where now anybody that's Googling M.Curtis McCoy is finding your site because you've got a really well-written article. I mean, obviously, it's doing the work kind of like a virtual assistant or a third-party copywriter would be doing, where it'll spit out some real good content. Some of it looks a little goofy. There's some filler words. There's some weird stuff in there. But now you've just saved yourself hours of research and transcribing that article and writing something separate about that where it's not the actual transcribed article about it. Post it on your website. Now you've got search traffic that's coming in. If they're Googling, if they're searching for me, they happen to go, hey, man, I didn't know about this CVMK podcast or show or whatever. Now you're getting search traffic. You're able to bleed off of people searching for me that had no clue that the podcast existed.
That's genius.
There's a lot of stuff like that where AI can cut out a lot of mundane work or a lot of stuff that you would have had to hire a VA to do.
Mm-hmm.
And all it takes, you take 10 minutes doing that, you can put out the same work that would have taken a VA a full day.
We're definitely living at the time. So, and I know, we're coming down to the end, and I got one more. I got one more question for you. So, business, like life, is finishing one chapter, going to the next chapter. My uncle, when I was at Loyola, I was eating dinner at his house. because Loyola's on the north side of Chicago, and I would come back from school at night, and he would have him and his wife, my aunt, they would have meal prepared for me, because I'd just be, by the time I got out of school, I'll just be worn out because I was commuting back and forth. And he said something to me that I never will forget. He said, Cody, the next thing is the next thing. And he kept saying it. And like now, as I've aged, I've gotten a little older, I understand. In business, even though, we have actionable items, we have objectives, we have goals that we will hit, but there's really a next thing on the horizon that we're really thinking about. That this is all lead up to that, right? As a leader, as an entrepreneur, what's next for Newswire magazine? What's next for Curtis McCoy?
So now, if you're, you can see online, I document everything with the personal branding. If you Google M.Curtis McCoy, you can follow M.Curtis McCoy on Instagram, Facebook, Twitter, LinkedIn, any of the platforms. You'll see I'm always documenting the journey. So it may be something, I may be doing something different tomorrow than I'm doing today. But at this point, I love helping entrepreneurs who are good people. First, I won't help a dirtbag. I don't care what you're paying me. But if you're a good person doing good business, helping people, like with CVMK, you're putting out good products. Yeah. I mean, I'll have to try out some of those protein and stuff. As long as it doesn't suck, that's something I'd love to promote to my audience.
I appreciate you, man.
If it tastes like ground up chalk, something we'll
so you'll get an article about you like, don't do this.
No, I don't put out anything negative. I might tell you, hey, brother, this is
that's ain't it.
You need to work on the flavor a little bit or something. But I'd like to try that out and make sure we're good stuff here. But as far as being a good person and you're just a good dude to communicate, I'm really liking. I'm loving this. I'm gonna stay connected with you online and stuff. I think for the foreseeable future, when I was in telecommunications, when I was in pharmaceuticals, when I had the Christian clothing company, and I still wear some cool Christian t-shirts. That is not a business that I've got any interest in doing. It was just something I was doing at the time. But the personal branding, like I said, starting in 2018, this has been something where it's helping anybody who's got a good business, who's already successful, but needs to get their name out there. It is massively helping people grow. I got a client this year that messaged me a couple weeks back, and he said off of the work that we've done for him already, he's generated $1.2 million in revenue this year off of the branding. So I mean, he's already real successful. That's not his whole paycheck, but that's a good boost for the good little piece of credibility, saying it's working and it's worth what he invested. But I mean, for the foreseeable future, it'll be helping authors, entrepreneurs, motivational speakers, podcast hosts, business leaders, people who are doing good stuff, and just helping them grow to reach a massive audience.
I love it. Look, y'all, this has been fire. I've learned a lot. We have somebody on here that's amazing. Has really shifted my mind. Been a blast. Curtis, man, if they wanted to connect with you, obviously, they know Newswire magazine. They wanted to subscribe and get in. They want to see you on Amazon Fire TV. How do they reach you? How do they connect with you?
So that's a good question. I got a couple of, not trying to drag this out too long, but Newswire magazine, there's no kind of a subscription. You're not paying to sign up. There's no paywall, meaning there's no walled access. So for example, if you're featured and then you share that link, with all your friends, family, grandma, your next door neighbor, they're not going to be able to read two paragraphs and then have to click to sign up to be able to read the rest of your article. I hate that business model as far as the magazine industry goes. Mm-hmm. So once you're featured, the goal is to drive as much traffic to that article forever as we possibly can and keep referring business to your page. But easiest thing, if you want to find M.Curtis McCoy, Google me. You got time for a quick story about the Google me thing?
Yeah, go for it.
So I was a guest on a live show this last summer here, and I mean it's not a podcast. It was an Instagram live. I think it was Instagram live, Facebook live, and so we're in there, a couple dozen people talking, and hundreds of people watching the interview. And I made a comment about something that the host could do to boost his audience, help boost engagement, improve search engine optimization. And so he made a comment, kind of a derogatory, who does this guy think he is, kind of a thing. Just kind of blasted my comment, like, not, just telling his people not to listen to what I said. He goes, who does this guy think he is? And he said, I'm like, hey, listen, man, I'm just trying to help. He said, who is this guy? He put in the comments. People started commenting. So then he put me on live. He said, what would make me want to listen to what you had to say? I'm like, listen, man, I'm just trying to help it. He said, well, how do I know you're even legit? I said, Google me. So he put he turned off my mic, and then on his audience, he had people start posting. Here's his interview on Newswire magazine. Here's his he's featured in USA Today. And people start posting. Oh, did you know that you had this company? Did you know you had this company? Oh, did you know he consulted with the Federal Trade Commission? You know he speaks at Caesar's Palace. And so it blew up. So I had a kid during that said a kid out of Nigeria said he was trying to start a motivational T-shirt company, and he wanted to know what I would charge him to use that quote, saying, Google me, M.Curtis McCoy, as the quote. I'm like, man, that'd be cool if you want to put my name on a shirt. I appreciate that. But so now there's Google me T-shirts. This kid had built a little I think he's like a white label drop shipping company, selling Google me T-shirts. So probably see if those are still around. But yeah, kind of a funny thing. So some kid built a business off of me saying Google me.
It happens. Look, humility is a tool that is rarely used, but it always works. My grandma would say you catch more bees with honey because, you don't know who knows who. and you thinking you're getting over like, well, I know. And then that's how you get yourself embarrassed, So Curtis, man, so it's been a blast, man. As you say, if you Google him, you're going to find out real fast. Curtis McCoy is. Anything else, man?
M.Curtis McCoy. There's a bunch of other Curtis McCoy stuff that I haven't ever branded the Curtis McCoy brand, but yeah, M.Curtis McCoy, I got locked down pretty good.
M.Curtis McCoy, y'all reach out to him, connect with him, and say you're like, I dig what you dig. I watched the show. I'm on Newswire magazine. It's hot as fire. Let them know, show them love, y'all. And if you want to keep seeing leaders like we have on the day, you know what you got to do is one word, 4 letters. It's not difficult. CVMK on YouTube. This is what it is _show on the gram. CVMK _global. And the personal page that I got to work on, CVMK33. TikTok, CVMK Glow. Fan base, CVMK. Snapchat, CVMK Global. It's wherever you put a CVMK, you will see the bear behind me. Where the best supplements are, like we have in my hand, V-Way. www.cvmkglobal.store. And until next time, guys, thanks.
If you think exercise alone got me looking like this, well, think again. CVMK Global Super Thick got me right. I'm obsessed, and yeah, I won't stop talking about it because it helped me grow in all the right places. Its creatine provides a fast and reliable way to increase your power, size, and shape, and it's scientifically proven to help you reach your physical goals in a safe, controlled manner. So if you want to increase muscle size, pump, and thickness in your muscle groups, you need Super Thick.